Hello friends, this is Peter Bain, co-founder of ForexMentor.com. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be with us today. The title for today's presentation is simply the most powerful Forex trading system. That's an exact quote from one of our members, Gregory. So we thought it would be appropriate to use that quote because it's true. This is the 123 system team. Lennox Chambers over on the left is the creator of the simple 123 system. He's also the programmer behind the wave calculator. He's a coach and mentor in the trading lounge. Over on the right is George Pitcher, who has been with us at Forex Mentor as a member since 2008. He is a trader. He's also a programmer. He's done all of the programming for the alerts. He's done the programming to introduce the wave calculator into MetaTrader 4 and so on and so forth. You'll also see him as a coach and mentor in the trading lounge from time to time. Of course, the good-looking guy in the middle is me, Peter Bain, co-founder of ForexMentor.com. Now, the agenda, I should have said at the beginning that this is being recorded, so you'll be able to go through the recording at your leisure after this is done. The agenda, we're going to give an overview of the S123 method. We're going to talk about fast tracking your training. We're going to get into questions and answers. And we're then going to turn it over to Lennox to talk about the London Open towards the end of the presentation. So don't click away too soon because we have a special offer at the end. Now this is the disclaimer to keep the legal beagles happy. When you go through the recording, please pay attention to the salient points noted in red. You can submit questions to us simply by typing your question directly into the GoToWebinar control panel. And like I said before, please don't click away too soon because there's lots of good stuff coming up. Plus, we have a very special offer at the end that you don't want to miss. To give you some background as to why we're here, I started Forex Mentor some 15 years, actually more than 15 years ago now with my business partner, Vic Young. I started off with my Big Dogs course. And then, of course, since then, we've had many people approach us to market their systems, a lot of which just didn't make muster. Of course, this time is different because now we're talking about Lennox Chambers, the good-looking guy on the left. I attended a seminar with Lennox, not long ago. The seminar actually had nothing to do with trading, but during this three-day seminar, I noticed that Lennox was one of the more vocal attendees, and I thought, well, at some point during this seminar, I'm going to go over and sit at his table just to find out what he's all about. So on the third day, I sat at his table, and we got talking about various things and got on the topic of trading, only to find out that Lennox was trading options, had been trading options for about 20 years. I mentioned that I was trading the Forex. I mentioned the profit potential, and that seemed to intrigue him. So he invited me over to his place, which I did. Spent a delightful evening at his place explaining the Forex as best I could. In an evening. I left out a few things. I forgot to mention which broker to use. I forgot to talk about the number of lots that you should be trading and so on and so forth. I thought, well, I've done my job. I'm not sure what he's going to do with this. Lo and behold, within a very short period of time, he contacted me and said, look, I've opened an account, a live account with real money at a broker that I didn't particularly like, but I gave him credit for at least doing something. He funded his account with $5,000 and ramped that up to $30,000 within a month, trading 10 standard lots. I said to him, I said, Lennox, nobody ever trades 10 standard lots right out of the chute. And he said, well, you didn't tell me, A, which broker to use, and you didn't tell me how many lots to trade, so I thought 10 sounded like a round number. Anyway, that really caught my attention. So I contacted my business partner, Vic Young in Vancouver. I said, look, you got to come over and have a look at this guy because he's got a system that is pretty cool. I haven't heard of anybody ramping an account up from $5,000 to $30,000 in a month. Vic came over, liked what he saw, and we thought, well, let's throw out a challenge to Lennox to see if he's the real deal. So we all kicked in $5,000 each, Lennox, Vic and I, $15,000, and we said, go get him and see what you can do. And lo and behold, Lennox ramped that account up to almost $30,000, to be more precise, about $27,000. So that did it for us. As a matter of fact, we got our $5,000 back. And so Vic and I concluded that we really have to get the word out to our members because this is the real deal. I must confess up front that I use Lennox's S123 system for my Forex trading and my stock trading with incredible success. I love the system. I wouldn't trade without it. One of the features of his system that I like the best, I guess I could say that, is his wave calculator, because the wave calculator will tell you once you're in a trade where to get out of a trade. And that's important because a trader wants to know what is the trend, where do I get into a trade, but more importantly, where do I get out of a trade once you're in the trade? And that's what his calculator does. A team of wild donkeys couldn't pull that calculator away from me. I simply love it, and I use it every day. So that's the background, and I can honestly say that the simple 1-2-3 system that Lennox has developed and is presenting to you is simply the best offering there is in the Forex trading world. There just isn't anything better that I'm aware of. So enough ado about background. Does it work? Well, I'm going to show you some. These are just trades, just examples of his trades, trading anywhere from 2 to 3 standard lots. He used to trade 10 standard lots, but he's modified his style to trade lesser lots, but he's doing just as well because of his particular technique, which he can talk about. Some more trading results here, which you can peruse. You can see that he trades a variety of pairs, including gold and the major pairs. Some more trading examples. These are actual trading results. They're not fudged. We didn't create this document. These are his actual trading results. So I'm going to, now that you've heard enough from me, I'm going to turn it over to Lennox to talk about some of his recent trades.
Okay, thanks, Peter. Welcome, everyone. Glad everyone's here. Okay, so hate talking about this kind of stuff, but this is you know, the results of trading the system. So on this particular one here, this is a British pound Aussie pair, and when was the date? This was this is just a recent one. Okay, so this I do 3 lots now, and you can still make relatively good pips, and of course, and with 3 lots, you can make nice profits. And so on this one, the setup, the 1-2-3 setup was just perfect. So that worked out quite nicely. Yeah, and with 3 lots, you can really make some nice profits. Yeah. Next one, Peter. I'll go over the 1-2-3 system a little more in depth. On this one was a week ago or so, the 19th. Yeah. So yeah, again, 3 lots. Yeah, again, you can make some nice profits. And with just 2 lots on this one, again, 2 lots, You don't have to go gung ho. You can keep your lot size small and just let your profits run, and that's what you do. Oh, another one. Wow. Okay. This one was again in March, and again 3 lots, and just letting price run to the target, and that's basically the premise and the whole strategy for the 123 system. Okay, so basically the 123 system is comprised of a series of steps that you take. And Peter, I think that's your mouse there. Maybe you could just
go for it.
Take your mouse away for a sec.
Yeah,
or is
go,
it,
okay. go for it. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
So this is the simple of it here. And when you break it down, we're looking for 1, 2, 3 bottoms. We call them 1, 2, 3 bottoms, and there are a series of entries that you can take. And we also look for 1, 2, 3 tops, and again a series of entries that you can take. The wave calculator, which George has programmed into MT4 as an indicator, as an actual tool, not really an indicator, it's a tool, will calculate price targets for us, and we just basically let price run to targets. And we trade mainly from the 1 hour and 4 hour time frames, and along with the alert system that we'll talk about in a few slides here. Yeah, this makes for a comprehensive, very sound, simple to use system. The basic premise to the system is the identification of 1, 2, 3s. So we're looking for 1, 2, 3 bottoms and tops, like I mentioned, and once they are identified, the wave calculator is put on, and it gives us our targets. And on this slide here, we're showing the number 1, the number 2 points, the number 3 points, and we get our targets way up here. And you can either get out at your first target, your second target, or your third target. It all depends on your risk tolerance. And just staying in. This is a 1 hour chart. You just stay in that trade till you get the target. And this is a few hours, of course, here, but it's well worth the wait. You can also use line charts, and with line charts, the pattern is a lot clearer. So this is the same chart. It's just with the line chart, and again, 1, 2, 3, and up to target, and it's it's just you can see the pattern a lot clearer with the lines. And so that's another way you can look at. You can even use candlesticks. So or sorry, not candlesticks, but regular bars, the high, low, close, open, high, low, close bars to trade with. That's the world I came from when I started. I'm very new to candles with the Forex. One of the big things that we have instituted is the daily playbook videos. So every evening before the London Open session, I record a video of what's setting up in the markets. I'm looking at the US dollar index and the major pairs, major currency pairs, and giving the members a little insight into what's setting up for the London Open session. And so I delve right into each of the major pairs as they compare to the US dollar, and try to find setups that are potential trade. And been working quite well. I think we have a lot of members that are taking advantage of some of those setups, and yeah, it's been really good. Now, George was supposed to be doing this part of it. Unfortunately, he's got some microphone issues, so I'll just continue along with this part of the presentation. So George programmed Simple 123 email alerts, and these alerts come almost every hour on the 1 hour and 4 hour time frames, and gives you a breakdown of a trade setup for the 123. I think the next screen shows that. So you get an alert in your mail, and it'll be something like this with a chart. It gives you a basic the pair that you're looking at, whether it's a bottom or a top, what the MACD is doing. That's the only indicator that we use on the chart are MACD and EMAs, and it will give you a link to the alert to the chart, and then it gives you some little notes about what the MACD is doing, and it will also pinpoint on the chart the 1, 2, 3. So you can then take this, look at your own chart, and if it looks like a viable tradable 1, 2, 3 bottom or top, or bottom in this case, then you can take that trade. So that's what we have set up. Now on this this little graph chart here, it's an Excel spreadsheet. George backtested the Simple 123 over a period of time on the Euro USD on the 4 hour time frame, and this was a series of about I think 18 trades here, and the bottom line here was the number of trades, total number of pips, and the percentage winners and losers. And we're coming out with using different targets, we're averaging in the 65 to 70% percentage win rate, which is just phenomenal. So basically, what it's saying that all these trades here taken would have, if you took every single one of them, you would have ended up with about a 60. In this case, on the first target, 69%. On the second target, 70%. 72% on the third target, and 72% on the fourth target, with very small loss, 27% and 27%, 28%, 30%. So it's very small loss compared to your win. So the alerts are very powerful, very, very powerful. So that's the overall, the backtest results, 65 to 7% win-loss across all the pairs, across all time frames. So very, very good. Okay, one of the things that I've done recently, just before Christmas, my best friend who lives in Toronto, I live in Victoria, beautiful British Columbia, Canada, and my best friend lives in Toronto, and he has a son in Edmonton, which is about 12 hours from here by, I guess, by vehicle. Anyways, he asked me if I would teach his son how to trade. So I set about just before Christmas starting to show him the 1, 2, 3 system, and this is his testimonial that I asked him to give me something, and he wrote this up and said that. After testing a variety of different strategies, he's found that the Simple 1, 2, 3 is by far the easiest and most effective to trade. And this is a result. This is a portion of one of his trades, 2 of his trades in one day. One day he pulled in, and this was just recently, about a week and a half ago or so. He pulled in these 2 trades on the gold, and these are just one lot each. Very, just very powerful. So he's pretty happy. He works on the oil rigs, and he's trying very hard to stay away from the oil rigs now. This first one here on the top, this is my nephew in Toronto, and I've been training him also for the last 3 months along with Chad. So we Skype the 4 of us. There's actually 4 of us. There's another friend of Chad's also in Edmonton that I've been teaching. And so he's written this little blurb as well. And the middle one here is from one of our members that we had some private coaching with. And this is Joe, and he was quite surprised that when he came on the first session that there were two of us available to help him. And that's how we do things here. We're all here to help, and we want to see everyone succeed. And Joel has been doing very well since his coaching with us, and I'm sure that and if you find them in the lounge, you'll see that. Okay, and then Richard, this is again another one of the members who's finally starting to, like he said, starting to click. These, the webinars and the trading sessions have really clicked in. He's making some pips now, and it's just really nice to see that that the members are catching on and making some pips and making some profits. This is from the first one here on the top is from one of our members, and that really helps out a lot in the trading, in the Skype lounge that we have. And this is just a really excellent comment from him. Really appreciate that. And Alex again, and Cameron and Sanjeev. So really nice comments. The system really works, and it's just a matter of you getting yourselves into it and practicing it and being patient, and yeah, it works. Okay, so these are some of the features that we have in the in the system. And August of 2017, when we basically started out, we had the standalone wave calculator. Then we started manual email alerts, and then we introduced wave calculator into MT4, and then there were the email alerts. So this is just a progression of what we've added to our membership and features for the members to help them along. We added the Skype lounge, which has become quite popular. This is where everybody gets together and chats about different trades, shows off their trades and things like that. We have the currency strength indicator, which we have integrated into MT4, and currency strength integrated with the email alerts as well. And we have a news indicator. And in September, we started talking about the US dollar index and how it relates to the major pairs, and incorporated that into daily playbook videos that we're doing right now. And then recently, just in February, started the weekly live training sessions at the London Open, where I come on and we try to find some trades and just go over in more depth and detail what's going on with the system and what's setting up in the London session. Okay. So this is what's basically included in your Simple 123 membership. Starter video courses, real trade recap videos, the wave calculator is included, daily playbook videos, scanning and training webinars, email trade alerts with charts, and the Skype chat room, and of course email support. We're here, like I said, to answer any of your questions, anything that you might have concerns or are struggling with. We're always there to help. And again, the Skype chat room, this is really a good place to ask questions and get feedback from other members. So again, we're a team, and we help everyone trying to succeed with this system.
Okay, thanks, Lennox. Excellent presentation. Now that you've heard my introduction, and now that you've heard Lennox in terms of what he had to say, you're probably wondering, well, how can I trade the way Lennox trades. Lennox is a professional trader. He doesn't have a day job. This is what he does for a living. And we want you to learn what he knows. If you have a day job, you're probably making about $1,500 every 2 weeks or $3,000 a month. There's every reason to believe, with no promises of course, that you could replace your day job income by trading Lennox's system. Lennox's goal is to make $5,000 a week with his system, and he's on track with that. So to make a fat story thin, I approached my business partner. I said, look, this is the most powerful system that we've had presented to us in the past 15 years. How can we make it easily and readily accessible to our members? And so Vic sharpened his pencil and did a good job on the numbers, and you can see his offer here. You can either start off with $99 for the first month, $99 per month thereafter. This offer expires in 48 hours, or perhaps a more attractive offer would be the 6-month prepay, whereby you pay $497 for 6 months. That's a whopping 28% off. And please make note of the link at the bottom of your screen. Please write this down, www.forexmentor.com/123/join.php. I'll leave this on the screen long enough for you to write that down. And please don't hesitate. Please sign up now, because I have an ancillary offer coming up in the next slide. For the first 7 people who join up now, a really exciting offer is coming up on the next slide. Again, the link is at the bottom of your screen. Please make note of it, type it into your browser, and sign up as quickly as you can. We'd really appreciate that. You can see the offers at the top, either starting off with the $99 offer or the 6-month prepay $497 for 6 months, which you might find more attractive than the offer at the top, the link at the bottom of your screen. Now, for the first 7 sign-ups, you are going to be invited to attend a very special private Skype session with Lennox during market hours. Now, this is an incredible opportunity because you're going to be Skyping with a professional trader. Like I said before, Lennox does this for a living. This is how he derives his income, and he is prepared to show you how to do that during live hours. You can attend the Skype session, look over Lennox's shoulder during market hours to see how he looks for profitable traders. Again, the first 7 people signing up at the link at the bottom of your screen get to participate in that special Skype offer, where you will Skype with Lennox during the week, during live market hours, to learn how he approaches the market. What does he look for? How does he enter a trade? Where does he put his stops? How does he figure out where prices go? How does he use the wave calculator? How does he use top-down analysis to make sure that he's got the trend right? All of that is worth its weight in gold. I can't emphasize this enough. I've been working with Lennox now, well, since I first met him, well, I guess over a year ago now, and I never cease to be amazed at how powerful his system is. And I don't have to say that. I use his system and his calculator for all my trading, and I wouldn't consider doing it any other way. Now, if you're looking for a complicated system, that's not what we're offering here. We're offering you a simple way to trade the Forex using one system, just one system called the S123 system. You don't have to use any other systems techniques. You just use this system. You're only looking for one thing. You're looking for a 1-2-3 bottom or a 1-2-3 top, and then Lennox will show you how to enter the trade, where to put your stop, and where to get out of the trade. Again, the sign up the sign up link is in the middle of your screen, www.forexmentor.com/123/join.php. As I said before, the first 7 people signing up will get to spend some time during the week, during live market conditions, spend some time with Lennox, who's a professional trader, to find out how he does this. You will be abundantly impressed. Now, just a side note here, we do offer personal coaching. That is, the S123 team does. The link is at the top of your screen, www.forexmentor.com/123/coaching.php. There's two offerings here. You get 2 sessions for $495, or you get 5 sessions for $1,247. This is personal coaching, one-on-one between you and Lennox. This is one heck of a deal. Now, I just thought that I would mention, as a reminder, a lot of you know this now, we are contemplating a live training workshop in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, May 21, 22, 23. That's coming up pretty quickly. This is a situation where you would bring your laptop with you and you would sit beside Lennox and actually trade. You'd have him sitting right beside you, looking at charts, picking out trades, having him help you pull the trigger, and watching the trade unfold. This is, I don't know of a similar offering anywhere on this planet. The link for that is www.forexmentor.com/123/live training. Please take that into consideration. We'd love to see you in Vancouver. It's where everybody in Canada wants to live. Incredible scenic country. You're only 2 hours away from Whistler. If you come, bring your walking shoes. Lots to do and lots to see. So our team is here to help you. We're not cut and run artists. If you have any questions, send us a note to info@forexmentor.com. When you sign up for our offer, you can then join in the Skype trading lounge once you give us your Skype handle, whereby you can actually participate with other members in identifying trades, sharing trades, asking questions, and so on. That's where there's a beehive of activity. A lot of our members are successful traders, and you'll find them in the trading lounge. So without further ado, I've said enough. I'm sure you want to hear from the master himself. There you go, Lennox. Take it away.
Okay, thanks, Peter. Let me just switch over and make myself the presenter. We seen that? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so hopefully everybody can see the screen, investing.com. This is one of my favorite places on the web. Used to be freestockcharts.com. Now they've taken that away and made it TC2000. So I use that once in a while as well, but investing.com is really good. I would recommend this site highly.
Lennox, can I just introduce something here?
Sure.
Since you're going to be wanting to know what our audience wants to hear, there is a comment in from Rob T.
Mm-hmm.
He says there are so many 1, 2, 3 tops and bottoms when you look at a chart. How do you pick which ones are legit and which ones are not legit to take?
Yes, indeed. That is the question. Okay. As I go along, we'll get into that a little bit. So, and that's a good thing that you know that there are 1, 2, 3 tops and bottoms all over the charts. Just like there are pin bars and hammer bars and spinning tops, and all those things are all over the charts. It's just a matter of knowing where to look for the one that you want to trade. A lot of traders trade just bars, pin bars or hammer bars and so forth. We're just looking for one pattern. And once we see that, then we can take advantage of it. Okay, so one of the first things that I do with our members is we start off with the U.S. dollar index, because mostly for the new members, we try to get you to stick to the major US dollar pairs. Just keeps your whole looking at charts down to only 7 or so pairs instead of looking at 28 different pairs. So try to concentrate on the major pairs at first. So once we get a look at the US dollar index, all we want to know is what direction is it going. Is it strong or is it weak? If we know that it's strong, then we can go and play the major pairs against it. And if we know that it's weak, we can do the same, going the opposite way and so forth. So that's one of the things we try to do. So like, for example, right now, this is on a daily, it's looking a little lean on the 4-hour, on the 1 hour. I've been calling for this thing to retrace a little bit for the longest time, and finally it's starting to do that. So I'm just going to go back to the 4-hour. I had calculations to this area, 1.618 extension, and that's where it's come to, and now it's made a retrace. So it looks like it's retraced a little bit, and it's probably going to turn around and go back up. But right now, we have to kind of say it's in a neutral posture. It's not going up, and it's not going down at this moment in time. Looks more like it will fall. So we have to give it a little bit of neutrality to down right now. So we still have another 40 minutes or 20 minutes or so before the London session opens. So we'll start to see some movement soon. All right. So the other thing then is we then go to MT4, and we look at the major pairs and see how they're setting up. And that also gives us a good heads up on what's going on overall. So I'd like to go to the daily chart and to start off. And I like to do the top-down analysis. And so when I want to go in depth, we start off at the monthly and work our way down. But one of the things you can do is just go to the daily, and we're just looking for specific bar setups. So this is where we look for certain bars. We're looking for a hammer bar, pin bar, bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing, railway tracks, spinning tops. So just about four different bar types that candle types that we're looking for. And once these are spotted, then we can drop down to the next lower time frame to try to identify 1, 2, 3 top or bottom that's setting up, because that's what those bars tell us. So using the Aussie US dollar, for instance, right now you can see that I'm just going to make this a little bigger so everybody can see what I'm seeing. So basically, just drawing some trend lines on it, we just get an idea of what's going on with the chart. This is where I'm on the daily. We have an upside down hammer here. So if we drop to the 4-hour, it's starting to form a 1, 2, 3 top. And the reason why I'm saying it's forming a 1, 2, 3 top is because the EMAs that we use, we only use 2 EMAs, the 21 and the 5 EMA, and we use the MACD. And we look at the MACD to see what it's, whether it's above the water line or below the water line, which is a zero line. The zero line we call the water line. And those are just the basic indicators that we use. And we just use these as a guide. We can actually do this without any of the indicators. You don't really need any of them on the chart. But this is just they're used as a guide to help you as beginners to understand what you're looking for and to make it a lot easier for you to spot the 1, 2, 3s. So at this point on the chart, Aussie USD again is setting up a 1, 2, 3 top, and you can tell that it is setting up a 1, 2, 3 top because there's a pin bar that's starting in right up here, and it's or shooting stars, some will call it, and it is the EMAs are turning, MACD is starting to turn. So what we do, the key would be for us to get cross of the EMAs coming back down and cross of MACD as well. So if I drop down to the 1 hour time frame, we get a little closer look at what's there. And so for example, I'm just going to get my marker here just to show you. We had quite a downward movement through here. At this level here, we had a 1, 2, 3 top. And we had a 1, 2, 3 top because there was a cross of the EMAs at this point, and then price started to move down. So at this point on the chart, if one were trading, and this is what our members do, and you just put we just put the wave calculator on that 1, 2, 3 top that we identify, and do that again. Sometimes the chart moves on me. And okay, so we just identify the 1, 2, 3. We put our 1, 2, 3 on, and the calculator gives us targets. So now, depending on how you want to play it, if you want to stay into, you can stay into the first set of targets. You can go down to the next set of targets. You can go all the way down. It all depends on how you want to play. There are a lot of different ways to stay in the trade and so forth. And in this case, on this particular play, there was a bar here that's very close to taking us out of our position. So if depending on where you enter this trade, you might have been okay or you might have been stopped out. So my favorite entry is to do a 55% retracement of the 1, 2, 3. So when we get the first wave, as we call it, and then the second wave coming back down, I like to enter in between the 50% and 62% area. So that would have been my entry, and then my stop would have been either above here or above the number 1 point. And then I would just let it run. I can let it run to, I usually like to go to the middle target, or I go down to the next, this one. It all depends. So there are ways to stay in the trade, and we can use the 21 EMA as a gauge for that. And so that was a setup of a 1, 2, 3 top. So at the bottom here of this move, if we came down in this channel, we had a 1, 2, 3 bottom. And we noticed the 1, 2, 3 bottom. We know it's a good one. And the question that was asked, how do you know whether it's a good 1, 2, 3, and so on? The reason why you would know that it's a good 1, 2, 3 is we've got a 1, 2, 3 top at this point. We got a death cross, as we call it, the crossing of the EMAs to the downside. And so when price has come down and you've gotten out of your trade wherever you decide to get out, you know that these targets is pointing to the ends of, very close to the ends of moves. So at this point here, you might see a 1, 2, 3 forming, but this is not a good entry. And the reason why is because at this point, we don't have a golden cross of the EMAs, and we do not have a golden cross of the MACD. So at this point here, you wouldn't be fooled into jumping into this and going long. And you would also know because your target, you're right at your target, so you know that this is not going to turn around right here. Still have a little bit, you could still have a little bit more to go. So once this has hit this low and does this move and starts moving back up and does a golden cross here, crossing the EMAs, then you know that, yes, this is a tradable 1, 2, 3 bottom. And there are, again, a number of different ways to enter the trade. Again, my favorite is to go at the 55% limit order entry. So let me do that without getting this chart. Just let me get this chart to stay still. And so that would be on this one, like that. Just a simple 1, 2, 3, and gives me targets. So this would have been a for instance, if you wanted to, if you got in, let's say we got in at the cross, quick entry. You know, this is a quick 18, 17 pips, 20 pips, 24 pips, 32 pips. This one is 36 pips, 44 pips, and then final 56 pips. So it all depends on, again, how you want to, if you want to stay in all the way up, or you want to get out quick, or how many lots you put on, and so forth. It all depends on yourself to decide which target you want to get out of. There's a recommended, again, like I say, the recommended target is the middle target, but you can always stay in. You can stay in based on what the 21 EMA is doing. So that's a quick overview of what we look for. So at this point here on the chart, it's forming a 1, 2, 3 top here, and we have a death cross, and MACD has a death cross here, so it's telling us from way before, and before we even get this cross, that price is moving to the downside. So we would now be looking for possible movement to the downside. However, we're up at a resistance area and so forth. So it's possible that price could gyrate sideways and go, or we could get this movement to the downside. It's not entirely clear at this point, so it all depends, because again, the US dollar, like I pointed out in the beginning, is in a neutral state. So Aussie against the US will be in a neutral state as well. So when one makes a move, the other will make the opposite move, usually. So if the US dollar goes down, then we can expect Aussie to go up. If the US dollar goes up, we can expect Aussie to go down. So that's the kind of, we'll have to wait patiently to see if that works. I mean, you can jump in early and so forth and take the risk, but always best to kind of wait for confirmation. Okay, so that's the Aussie US dollar. Any questions, comments?
No, nothing so far. Please, members, if you've got questions or comments, get them in.
So everybody's got it down then. It's simple, eh?
Simple.
So yeah, so that's basically the system. It's we try to keep it simple because it is, and the main reason that this works, it's pretty deep. I basically got a PhD in learning how to do this. But it was way back in the 90s, late 90s, during the turbulent times of the stock market in the late 90s, that I wanted to learn how to trade, and I started in the world of stock options. And there was a gentleman who was trading commodities. So I started out trading commodities because he said that you can make a fortune trading commodities. And boy, I got killed a few times in the commodities market. It was tough. So I decided to move to options because the leverage was really good in options. And with commodities, you can lose a lot more than you put in. So for example, if you put in $1,000, you can end up being called on margin, and you could end up owing $2,500 or $3,000 or $5,000 if the market gaps up on you or gaps down on you and so forth. So it's a very dangerous game to play, the commodities game. With options, you can only lose the amount that you put in. So if you put in 100 or 1,000, that's your maximum risk, and that's a lot more palatable. So I delved into the world of options, and the gentleman in question, his name is Ken Roberts, and he was a commodities guru expert in the 80s, 90s there, and he had this little system where he went onto the weekly charts and looking at let's use gold for instance. Let me just use gold because it's like a commodity. Gold is like a commodity still. I'll just grab the gold chart. So he would go on the weekly chart of gold, for instance, and he would spot 1, 2, 3 like this, and he would jump in when price crossed above the top of that. So he would have it as 1 and 2 and 3, and when price crossed that, he would jump in. And he would stay, he would keep buying more contracts. Anytime there was a pullback like that, he would jump in again. And pull back, he'd jump in. Pullbacks, he'd jump in and just keep adding to his contracts. So he'd start off with, say, 2 here and then 4, and then he would go 4 and then 8 and then 16 and 32. And so by the time 3 months had gone by, he would be up, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's just amazing.
When you get a chance, Lennox, I've got a couple questions for you.
Okay. So I decided to use that system and do it with the options, and I refined it and wrote a program with a wave calculator and so on to calculate price targets and so on. And yeah, and that's way back in the 90s I did all that, and that's what led me to this, to Peter, meeting Peter, and then starting this this course and education for everyone. Okay, go ahead, Peter.
Thanks, Lennox. Daniel Aldrich wants to go back to that chart you were looking at where we were at the top and you weren't sure which way price was going to go. Daniel says, what would be your signal to trade this down? I can't remember what the chart was. But prices, yeah, Aussie US dollar had gone up to the top, and you had indicated that we were waiting for an indication as to where price was going from there.
Okay, so go down to the 1 hour. So the key would be for me to continue to watch the US dollar. Let me see if I can get that chart up. There we go. So the US dollar is the key. So right now, like I say, it's in a sideways move in the neutral, so it's in neutral state. So if price were to drop, then I would expect the Aussie to go up, and if price were to go up here, then I would expect the Aussie to drop. So right now, what it's showing me is that we do have a golden cross on the MACD. It's trying to push up towards the waterline, but it's not really convincing. You can see that it's not, and convincing means it needs to be spread apart, like how we have it here, so that you're getting a move. So here we had a 1, 2, 3 bottom, we had a golden cross, and then price moved up. And this was a convincing cross and the convincing move, and it went above 0 and so on. Here we're below, and it's looking like it could just turn and go to the downside. So I need to see, even though we have a 1, 2, 3 here, it's not giving us that clean move that that tells us that it's a 1, 2, 3 bottom at this point. So right now it's sideways. Again, my expectation is for a drop, but stranger things have happened. So we'll see when this really starts to go.
And a comment from John Irwin talking about trading a 1, 2, 3 pattern, either up or down. His question is, are you waiting for point 2 to break as well as the MA cross to enter?
Okay, with the 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll put the 1, 2, 3 back on again here. Okay. Two. My computer is slowed down here a little bit. Okay, so when we found the 1, 2, 3 and we get a golden cross, there are a couple of ways of entering, like I say. So again, my favorite is to wait for a retrace. So retrace means that this is a very aggressive entry, and it's aggressive because I'm getting in because I believe this is moved to the top and it's starting to come back down. I'm believing that this is not going to come back down and break my low. So if price comes down and breaks my low point, then I've lost, because you're going to have your stop here. So I've lost. So the limit order is risky, but if that fails, and you can always enter. There's a couple other ways to enter, and the other way to enter is to do a buy stop order above the number 2 point. That didn't do so well, that line. So yeah, you can do a buy stop order above the number 2 point. Also, there's another entry that, based on the previous, let me get that, there we go, there it is. Based on the previous high coming down from the previous move down, you can enter via a break of this diagonal line. So that's another alternate entry, which is usually very close to the golden cross, and that would be you can either use a market order at that point. So you have a few different ways of entering the trade, and again, we use the golden crosses of the MACD and the EMAs to give you a confirmation of the setup. So right now up here in real time, we have a 1, 2, 3. It's formed. If price were to have broken the top, then this would have been null and void. So we have another 1, 2, 3 forming. So pull back 55% of this would be an entry. So if I felt confident that this would have been a play, I could have done this and just entered and looking to get in right about now with a sell limit order at this point. So to be confident, even though I have MACD crossing here, it's an early cross. You can see that it's crossing with this cross right there. So until MACD starts to move down below the 0 line, and I get a real good confirmation move down, I would not be taking this short. And so I would be waiting then now for a break of, I'll show you, from say the previous high here, or previous low here in this case, across the top of this. So that would be a play to the downside. If I get a break of that line, then that would be a play. Or if you get a break of the number 2 point coming back down on a horizontal, that would be a play to the downside.
A comment from Jason Ciao here. He says, Lennox, you mentioned that the best entry is at 55% retracement limit entry, but wouldn't it mean that 0.3 is not completed yet?
That's right. That's what I explained. That the number 3 point, you're making the presumption that price is going to come back down into that area. So you have no cross yet or anything. You're just saying, okay, I've seen this move, seeing it coming down. I think this is the bottom, and I'm going to jump in. I'm going to take that chance that price will not come and break this low, and I'm going to jump into the market in this area with a limit order. And in this case, this would have worked, and you'd have caught this move. So that's what I do most of the time if I see it. But sometimes, of course, you don't see it, so you get in this area or you get it above. We call it the train leaving the station. So sometimes the train leaves the station early, and in this case, if you didn't catch it in between this area here, then the train's left and it's too late to get in. There's no pullback here. This is just one straight news bar, and that's done. So Aussie USD would probably be doing the same thing as the New Zealand USD right now. So if I brought that chart over, let's see how that's looking. I think I brought it over. Okay, my computer suddenly slowed it to a crawl. Sorry about that. Here we go. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so New Zealand versus the US dollar should. Okay, so again, you can see that we are forming a 1, 2, 3 top at this point. So are we going to get a weak dollar that will shoot this up and break the top, or we're going to get a strong dollar that's going to bring this down? That's the question. So the whole premise to the 1, 2, 3, and here again, this strong move down, get a 1, 2, 3 bottom. The whole premise to the 1, 2, 3 is that we are looking at movements of waves, wave 1, wave 2, and we're just playing this wave to target and getting out. And that's the simplicity of the system. You just want to catch this wave to target, and conversely, you want to catch this wave and come down to target if that was going to come down. So looks like this should do this. Again, we're getting the MACD, getting the death cross at this point on the chart, and the EMAs are crossing, but it's also in a neutral state, just like the US dollar. So I think anything with US dollar right now is going to be in a kind of a neutral state. So let's take a look at Euro USD and see how that one is looking. All right, so Euro USD is also in the neutral, because you can see it's going sideways. So it's also neutral, so you have to be patient to wait out which way this is going to drop, or is it going to go back up, continue going up. The way it looks right now, I would say that it's going to do this to the upside. So let's take a look at British pound US dollar. So this is where patience comes in, especially at this level. You don't really want to play in this area. The end of moves is the key to the 1, 2, 3s. So at the end of a move, come from a move up, I make this chart go back to small. So anytime we get here, we have a 1, 2, 3 top. We've got the death cross. When we get a move to the downside, and we get a 1, 2, 3 with a golden cross. So end of moves is the whole key to the game. You don't want to be playing in the middle of the chart, if at all possible. Okay, so that's Euro USD. So again, I think Euro USD should bounce and go to the upside. See GBP USD. So
do you want to have a look at the USD CAD at some point?
Okay. So GBP USD is again, I'm just looking at this on the 1 hour right now, so it's always best to start looking at the chart from a higher time frame. just to get an overview of what's going on. But on this one, we have a very large 1, 2, 3 bottom here with the golden cross, and then this move to the upside. So this is also looking like a possible move because we have resistance here, so possibility of that. But again, it all depends on what the US dollar does. So on the H1, we have again a 1, 2, 3 bottom here with a golden cross, and we're moving to the upside. So we could see price move up to this area. And let's take a look at New Zealand US dollar. This one's on the 1 hour. And again, there was a 1, 2, 3 bottom after a 1, 2, 3 top. And it's moved to this level and went sideways and could do this and come back down, or it could continue up. So if the US dollar weakens, this will go up. If the US dollar strengthens, this will go down. And USD CAD, let's take a look at USD CAD. Wow. Okay. So USD CAD on the 1 hour right now has a 1, 2, 3 bottom. We've got a golden cross to move to this level. It's looking strong right now against the CAD. So, but we are at a resistance area, so it might not have enough oomph to break through this resistance, and we could get a 1, 2, 3 top here to come back down. So all depends again on what the US dollar is going to do. So it's 12:09, so the markets should be moving a little bit now. Let's take a look at, okay, so it's trying to move up. You can see MACD is pushing towards the waterline. So if that's the case, then we should see downward moves in those Aussie, Euro, GBP, New Zealand, gold, and we'll see strength in the US dollar, US CAD, US Swiss, maybe US Japanese yen. All depend, of course, on the strength of those pairs. Okay, so sometimes, for example, we have an indicator that George created, the strong versus weak. So that tells us at a glance which pairs are stronger and against the other pairs. So we can just quickly see on whatever time frame you want which pairs are strong, which ones are weak. So on the 4-hour time frame, US dollar and the Swiss and the Aussie are relatively strong. And if we go to the 1 hour and a shorter term time frame, British pound is by far the strongest. So again, you could look at any British pound pair. So right now, Peter, US dollar has some strength, but we don't know how short-lived that might be. But yeah, based on our wave calculator, if I put the wave calc on this 1, 2, 3 bottom on the US CAD, which I missed, let's try it again. This would be our first set of targets here for. So it looks like it's trying to push to that level right now, which again is right at resistance. You can see that clearly.
Really not a lot of pips based on that 1, 2, 3.
You'd have had, of course, you'd have had to get in a little earlier down in this area and to go to this target here. 55 pips, not bad. Mm-hmm. But you need to get in this area to get that. This is why sometimes using a break above the number 2 point as an entry, you're going to get, here you get 33 pips to middle target. Whereas if you entered on the 55% retrace area, you get a lot more pips for your entry. So it's a little riskier. This entry above the number 2 point, your price is pushing. However, it's risky there as well because of what they tend to do. This is a classic example. For example, if we decided to enter this trade a little bit above our number 2 point, what happens is you have to place your stop somewhere. So if you place your stop too tight, what they like to do is to push the market up and then pull the market back down. So if your stop is too tight, you're going to be taken out on that move back.
Would you say that there's a second 1, 2, 3 there? After the first 1, 2, 3, you've got a 1, 2, 1,
right here.
Another 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah,
that is. And this is, back to that first question. There are lots of 1, 2, 3s on the chart. How do you know which one? It's all, in this case, the first 1, 2, 3 is the one you want. The second 1, 2, 3, you're already in the move, so it's not necessary for you to use that one. You can, but this is the real one here. Mm-hmm. So it looks like price wants to push to this target area. But again, in this case now, your entry should have been in here, in between this area, for you to take advantage of the pips. Now the train has left the station. There's no play at this point. So it's just a matter of being patient and waiting out these 1, 2, 3s.
How does the 4-hour look, Lennox? The 4-hour doesn't really have a 1, 2, 3 bottom. It has kind of a sloppy.
It does. It's the same. It's the same 1, 2, 3 there, and the golden cross is there. So it's the same. It's the same pattern. It's just that it's a little bit more, a few more bars on the 1 hour, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's just made up of all those bars on the 1 hour, but on the 4 hour, it's just 3 bars. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're at 12:15 Pacific time.
Any other questions, comments?
No, it looks like we've run out of comments.
So I must say that everyone must have gotten this and they're on their way. This is good.
Yeah, we have an indication here of signups, so we have had people take advantage of the signups. We appreciate that very much.
Excellent. There's a lot more to this. This is just a basic overview of this, nitty-gritties. Make it a lot more foolproof. A lot of our traders in the lounge are catching on and making some really good pips. It's really nice to see. And yeah, for anyone that's new, the key is to be patient and keeping it simple. One other thing, sorry, Peter. This is not something that you're going to pick up in a month or 2 or 3. It takes a bit of time for you to understand the whole concept and to start making some pips and profits. So if there's an expectation of coming in and learning this in 1 month, it's not going to happen for you.
Yeah. Comment from Siggy Castle. He says, I really enjoy listening to Lennox's thought process. Don't want to interrupt with questions, but you can if you want, Siggy. Todd Bryant says, looking forward to the lounge.
Thank you, guys. Nice comments. Appreciate that.
And Siggy Castle says not a he, a she. Okay. Thanks for the clarification. All right.
I appreciate that, those kind comments. Yeah, I'm myself personally. I'm just I think my partners will attest. You know, easygoing. I just kind of relaxed. It's best in this game. You really need to be relaxed. We have wins, we have losses, and the key is to make sure that when you lose, that your losses are small, and when you win, your wins are big, and not to let the losses get to you. It's just part of trading.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for an excellent presentation as usual, Lennox. I think we should call it quits just about now.
Okay.
If our audience members have any, it says here, James Hoffman, I spoke too soon. Does Lennox enter trades only during London or New York sessions?
No, I enter trades anytime really that I see 1, 2, 3. Well, I should say there are times. Okay, for instance, 2 o'clock, which is 5 o'clock Eastern time. 2 o'clock is our time when the market switches over from the from New York session to the Asian session. It's not a really good time to be taking positions, as we saw, Peter. They up the spreads and all that kind of stuff. So those times, if there's a trade setup, you have to be patient and wait maybe an hour or two for the spreads to settle back down to 1 or 2 pips, and then you can take an entry. So if I see a setup, I just want to make sure that the spread is reasonable, and I will take the trade, because once basically we enter a trade, we set it, and we let it go, and that's how we play it. A good example is if the chart will show up here, the Swiss Japanese yen, which Peter and I have taken positions in this trade. We're on the daily. We're in this for targets that are going to be a ways up. So we're in the trade, and we just let it go.
Why wouldn't you pick the bigger 1, 2, 3 before that, Lennox? Or is that not a 1, 2, 3?
It is a 1, 2, 3, but I'm picking the smaller one because that was the one I did. So when I go to the 4 hour, I'm going to just make this smaller so everybody can see. So when I go to the 4 hour, this is the larger 1, 2, 3 on the daily, but this is the 1, 2, 3 that I put my calculation on. So yes, you could use this one, but your targets are going to be way, 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 way up there. So depending on how long you want to wait to target, using this 1, 2, 3, the more current 1, 2, 3, then this will give you targets a little closer in this area, type of thing.
So we've retraced on the 4 hour.
So yeah, we're doing higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So we're just stepping right now. So we need a big breakout above this resistance, and we should be good to go. We can break this resistance area here.
One more question, please, from James Hoffman. Does he do any live moderating during market hours in a trading room for members? James, yeah, Lennox participates actively in the trading lounge, as does George Pitcher, as do a lot of our other members like Gregory. So you'll find him there. And then Daniel Aldridge says, since you are typically entering at the 55% retracement, it sounds like you're putting a lot of emphasis on being at the end of a large move or at the end of a previous 1, 2, 3 target. I'll read that again. Since you're typically entering at the 55% retracement, it sounds like you're putting a lot of emphasis on being at the end of a larger move or at the end of a previous 1, 2, 3 target.
I'm putting, the reason I like this entry is because I get the price that I want and not what the market dictates, especially with spreads. So if I say I want to get in at 110.79, then I'm getting in at 110.79. And so by using the wave calculator, again, I see this move, I see this retracement. So every time there's a move, there's always a retracement. So once you understand that, you can then use the calculator to give you the probabilities of where it will come back down to. And I'm just using probabilities because everything is just math in the markets. It's all just numbers, and it's all math, and it's very, very precise. As you delve into it, you'll see that more and more. So we just use probabilities that price will come in this area, and yeah, I'm just taking this because it gives me more bang than getting in up here or getting in on that diagonal like I showed. I'm getting a lot more pips overall, so I'm taking the risk of being stopped out by putting my stop here. So if I'm wrong, of course, then I'm dead. But that's okay, because if I'm wrong, then I know that a 1, 2, 3 will form here and we'll go that way and so forth, right? Or it'll be at the bottom of a move and it will do a 1, 2, 3 and go back up. So if I'm wrong at this point, then and it breaks, then I know that okay, I was wrong here. I'll try again and try it here, and maybe it'll work this time.
An interesting comment from Daniel Aldridge. He says, correct, but since you're entering before number 3 is in place, you have to have some criteria to avoid the false 1, 2, 3s, right?
Yes, and that's it's just after a while it becomes you know what the chart is doing. So the key thing for the 1, 2, 3 is to know where you are on the chart. And once you know, that's part of the course and how, you know, we break it down for you. But once you start to get an idea on a handle on how to determine where you are on the chart, then you start to see the 1, 2, 3s as they unfold. And it's not just about sitting here on the 4-hour chart or the 1-hour chart. There's a lot more to it, and you can really pinpoint exactly what's going on the chart. We drop down even to the 1-minute chart, 5-minute chart, and you can see the patterns as they unfold, and then you'll know more precisely that okay, this is done, this move, and it's ready to go, and so on. So again, there's a lot more to it and so forth, but even at this level, the 1, 2, 3s hold. You see, they are all there. It's always the same. So that's the beauty of the 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter what time frame you're on. The 1, 2, 3 pattern is there. So if you are aware of what's going on, then you'll know that at the end of this move, we're going to have a 1, 2, 3, and that's going to, you know, we're going to get a 1, 2, 3 here, and we're going to go. So once you have a handle on that, then it becomes clear, and then I know I can take that risk. And if I come down to the 5-minute chart, my risk becomes very small because my stop at this level, if I were to, you know, to enter, is you know, would be 10 pips or less, and you know, and that's the kind of entry that you want to take. And you can increase your size of your lots by doing that. So that's again little tidbits of the system, little things that can make you more pips and more profits.
Can we go back to the 4-hour chart for a minute, Lennox, please?
Okay.
Can you, for my own edification, I still have trouble with this. Can you please show me how to figure out the retracement that's underway now, how you measure from where to where to calculate how far it's going to retrace, which it has done. It's retraced.
Okay, so the main retracement was here,
Yeah.
So if you got that entry, that would have been great. I think I'm in this area. I got in this area because it was going sideways, and I got in on a lower time frame on the 1 hour.
15 on the 15. Yeah, I got in on the 15-minute. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now the current retracement is right here. So anytime you get a move up and a move back down, it's basically a retracement. So we always get the moves down and up and down, and then they retrace. So if I go to the 1 hour, you just go down to the 1 hour time frame. We'll see this a little closer and clearer. Okay, so at this point, we were in this channel and looking for a breakout of this channel, and you have to spot the 1, 2, 3 at that point in order to make that entry. So now it's gone up, and it's now retracing. So it's retracing. So that's how you would calculate your retracement of that. But there's no need to be, unless you wanted to enter. There's really no need to do a calculation of that retracement. But you would do a 1, 2, 3.
How would you calculate the retracement? By working from number 1 to number 2? Yeah.
Yeah, just from this low here and then to your current low here. So that would give you see we're right at the 55% retracement of this current move. So that would tell me that if I wanted to add to my position right now, I could add to my position.
Yeah.
And the only thing now is we have a death cross on the MACD pointing for us to go down. So we need to get a golden cross now coming back. So if we get a turn and a golden cross, then we know that, okay, we're good to go.
Is that possibly a
don't break this point?
Is that possibly a 1, 2, 3 top?
At this point?
Yeah.
It is definitely a 1, 2, 3 top, but it's not a 1, 2, 3 top that you want to trade to go back down, because
right.
The overall trend is to the upside.
Yeah, good point.
So that's the key takeaway from that. So again, you know that more so from the 4 hour time frame or the daily time frame, because you got to determine what the overall trend is, and you want to be trading with the trend and not against it.
Yeah, so I'm in this trade with 2 standard lots, and as I said to you before, I've got an exit point on the 4 hour chart for one lot and an exit point on the daily chart for the second lot.
Yeah.
So, but the advantage of using your system where all of the charts are in sync, top to bottom, you can take a trade on the 4 hour, as an example, a trade on the 4 hour chart, and if you desire to exit on the 4 hour, you can, or you can just say, the heck with it, I'm going to let it run as a daily trade. Yes.
Now, last night I accidentally closed my trade. I was, for whatever reason, I clicked on it and clicked close by mistake, but it was right at this level here. So I got a $1,200 profit on it, so this is fine. So I decided to enter again. So now I'm actually in the negative at this point, but that's fine.
Well, where did you get back in?
I think right in this area here. So
yeah, that's fine.
So I'll wait it out and see how it goes. All right, so that's an overview of our simple 1, 2, 3 system, and yeah.
Okay, it's 12:32 Pacific time. Lennox, thank you for an excellent presentation as usual. And I'd like to thank all of our members for hanging with us for the past hour and a half. And thank you to the signups, and thank you to those who offered comments and questions. If there are any last-minute comments or questions, please get them in before we sign off. Do you have any last-minute thoughts, Lennox?
You know, again, this system is very powerful. It's very simple, but yet it's very powerful. And again, I think all our members that are with us will attest that, you know, it takes patience and practice, practice and patience. And Once you start to see it, once you start to see the 1, 2, 3, it becomes a beautiful thing, though.
Yeah. Okay, thanks again, Lennox, and thanks to all of our attendees. We really appreciate your time. Have yourself a great time, and we hope to see you next time.